Alexander Isak to Liverpool transfer twist as Chelsea agree shock deal. Latest Liverpool transfer rumors and news as Chelsea look set to hand the Reds a possible issue in trying to land Alexander Isak, as reports suggest they have beaten Newcastle to João Pedro's signing. Liverpool could have suffered a setback in their efforts to sign Alexander Isak after Chelsea agreed a deal for João Pedro. Liverpool could be dealt a setback by Chelsea in their hopes of landing Newcastle United star Alexander Isak. According to reports, the Londoners have reached an agreement with Brighton Hove Albion to sign João Pedro. Multiple outlets have claimed that Enzo Maresca's side are set to beat Newcastle United to the Brazilian, with the deal worth in excess of £50 million. Pedro looks likely to become the latest big-money signing at Stamford Bridge, with Chelsea rivaling Liverpool as the busiest Premier League club in the transfer window this summer. The Reds have made a host of blockbuster signings, with Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, and Milos Kerkez entering the fray. Meanwhile, 23-year-old Pedro could be about to join Liam Delap and Jamie Gittins of Borussia Dortmund in Chelsea's push to return to the summit. Liverpool have been tentatively linked with Magpie star Isak, following the suggestion that they may divert their scope towards attacking reinforcements with Darwin Núñez, the subject of links over an exit. Newcastle have reportedly slapped a £200 million price tag on the Sweden international's head. But speculation continues to link Liverpool with a move for the 25-year-old. The Northeast club are said to have made the Brazilian their key target for attacking additions this summer. But Chelsea appear to have gazumped their Champions League rivals to the former Watford man's signature. João Pedro of Brighton Hove Albion. TalkSport's Alex Crook reported that Liverpool are huge fans of Isak, and their pursuit of the talisman could become easier if Newcastle land Pedro. However, with the reports from multiple outlets, including The Athletic and Fabrizio Romano, claiming Pedro is closing in on a deal to Chelsea, it may have a significant bearing on Liverpool's potential pursuit of Isak. Liverpool have been very active in the market so far. They have signed Jeremy Frimpong. His Bayer Leverkusen teammate Florian Wirtz is on the brink of completing his medical and British record move to Anfield, Crook said, prior to Wirtz completing his move to Anfield. I did mention earlier in the week that Liverpool are keen to bolster their forward lines. They are huge fans of Alexander Isak at Newcastle, who wouldn't be after his stellar season helping the Magpies qualify for the Champions League and end a 7-decade wait for silverware. I think this would be a difficult deal to do, but it might get easier if Newcastle win the race for Brighton's João Pedro. That is a hotly contested one, a lot of interest from the Premier League and Europe. I know Newcastle fear Chelsea could beat them to the punch. João Pedro, someone Brighton would cash in on for a fee of £60 million to £70 million. Strong possibility. Arsenal Man UTD sent Viktor Gyökeres transfer message by club chief. Sporting CP president used Arsenal and Man U's transfer business so far this summer to set the guidelines for Viktor Gyökeres' price tag. Sporting CP president Frederico Varandas once again publicly addressed the swirling transfer drama surrounding his star forward Viktor Gyökeres, revealing that he expects his talisman to leave this summer. Varandas even cited reported transfers made by Arsenal and Manchester United as evidence for his firm stance on Gyökeres' price tag. This represents the heaviest public hint yet that the two Premier League sides are actively competing against one another for the prolific Swede. Sporting is very calm about Gyökeres, Varandas mused to Ebola. We do not have to sell him. In the same way that we do not need to sell him, we are still sensitive to Viktor's dreams. Gyökeres' 3-year contract with Sporting reportedly includes a buyout clause worth €100 million, £85.3 million, $117.1 million. There had been much speculation that a reduced sum of €70 million, £59.7 million, $82 million, would be accepted only for Varandas to strongly reject those reports earlier this month. The 27-year-old was said to be furious with that firm response, although the club president warned that he would be reasonable with his demands. But what constitutes a fair price? Varandas took the unorthodox approach of listing the recent deals reportedly struck by Arsenal and United to set a broad outline of the current market values without revealing an exact sum. Matheus Cunha, Wright, joined Man UTD earlier this summer and could be joined by Brian Mbeumo. If you ask me today, there is a strong possibility that Viktor will leave, Sporting's outspoken president admitted. In the last few weeks, we have been keeping an eye on the market. I saw a player like Martin Zubimendi, who is 6 months younger than Viktor, go to Arsenal for 65 million euros, 55.5 million pounds, $76.1 million. I saw 2 players being sold in the Premier League, Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo. Strikers who do not have the quality of Viktor, in my opinion, were sold for around 75 million euros, 64 million pounds, $87.8 million. We are talking about players who are 26 years old. So given the demands we make in relation to Viktor's value, I believe he can leave, unless he has the worst agent in the world, which I find hard to believe because he is one of the best football players in the world. Zubimendi has not yet officially left Real Sociedad and is a defensive midfielder rather than a striker like Gyökeres, while Mbeumo's move to United has stalled after Brentford rejected the club's latest bid worth of a total of 62.5 million pounds, $85.8 million. As negotiations over Gyökeres threaten to even get off the ground, let alone stall, there have been suggests that the center forward will go on strike to force through a move. That extreme scenario doesn't bother Varandas. I have been in football for 20 years and have already been through countless transfer dramas, the president sighed. Closing the transfer window is a cure for any ill. Disgruntled players are not a problem. Viktor staying will not be a problem for us. It will be a problem for our opponents. Confirmed soon. Sky Sports reporter claims Liverpool transfer is only a matter of time. Tomorrow marks a significant milestone in Jarell Quansah's career, with the Liverpool defender set to complete his medical ahead of a transfer to Bundesliga champions Bayer Leverkusen. The deal, valued at 30 million euros plus add-ons, will see the highly rated England U21 European champion sign a contract with Leverkusen until 2030, with all documents prepared for completion early this week. The latest update regarding the transfer of the Liverpool star has been provided by Sky reporter Florian Plettenberg. Quansah has been one of Liverpool's impressive emerging talents, showing maturity beyond his years. Liverpool agreed to sell Jarell Quansah. However, with Liverpool's recent moves in the market and the need for Quansah to play regular first-team football at this stage of his development, the Reds have agreed to sanction the move to Leverkusen. As part of the agreement, Liverpool will retain a buyback clause that becomes active from the summer of 2027, allowing them to re-sign Quansah for 60 million euros. At Leverkusen, Quansah is expected to replace Jonathan Tah, who has joined Bayern Munich as a free agent this summer. Quansah's impending arrival is viewed as a major coup for Leverkusen, who have appointed former Manchester United boss Erik ten Hag as their new manager this summer. Quansah wants more playing time away from Anfield. For Quansah, the move represents an exciting step in his career, providing the platform to establish himself in one of Europe's top leagues while playing under a manager renowned for developing young talent. The deal is expected to be officially confirmed within the next 48 hours, pending the successful completion of the medical on Monday. With Quansah on his way out, the Reds are exploring the opportunity to sign Crystal Palace defender Marc Guéhi this summer. The England defender is high on the agenda at Anfield this summer as they look for defensive depth in the squad. Out of favor, Manchester United star tipped to complete Newcastle United switch. Manchester United star Marcus Rashford linked to make Newcastle United switch. Manchester United are looking to rebuild their squad in the summer and get rid of the players who no longer fit in the team's plan under Ruben Amorim. Marcus Rashford has been one such player who is not considered important to the club's project. The Englishman has been disastrous for the Red Devils, but managed to get back his form with a loan spell with Aston Villa. However, Villa did not sign him permanently, and hence his future is up in the air. Now, there is yet another possibility of a loan move for the next season. Earlier, The Sun reported that Newcastle United want to sign the Englishman on loan next season and revive his career. Now, journalist Keith Wines on Football Insider's Inside Track podcast has revealed that his move to Barcelona might not be possible. The attacker was linked with a move to the Catalan club and desires to move to the Spanish Giants. Can a loan move to Newcastle help Marcus Rashford rediscover his form for Manchester United's benefit? Quansah believes that the Magpies will be the most viable and logical option for the attacker, as a loan move to St. James Park will provide him with consistent game time and help him regain his form and confidence. Can a loan move to Newcastle help Marcus Rashford rediscover his form for Manchester United's benefit? Quansah believes that the Magpies will be the most viable and logical option for the attacker, as a loan move to St. James Park will provide him with consistent game time and help him regain his form and confidence. I think it's going to work out to be another loan situation like with Aston Villa. I don't really see anything else happening for him. He keeps on making noises about Barcelona, the club of his dreams. I just don't see Barcelona being able to do it financially. I don't see a way to be able to get that done. Another loan would work with Newcastle. He did well with Villa. For a limited impact he did from January onwards, he did okay. I think given a full season at Newcastle, he will do brilliantly. What a signing it could be. Something is intriguing about imagining the 27-year-old with real continuity in a team like Newcastle. The Magpies' more dynamic offensive structure, which has less media pressure than what he experiences daily in Manchester, could allow him to loosen up. If the striker finds consistency and starts scoring goals again, Manchester United could benefit indirectly, not only because of a possible financial revaluation, but also because they could eventually recover a player who has already proven his international level. But if there is no upturn and stagnation continues, is it worth continuing to insist? Manchester United should, in any case, open the door to a permanent departure if conditions allow. If Rashford's dream is Barcelona, and that dream is blocked by the Catalan club's financial situation, keeping him in a kind of limbo between temporary loans does not seem healthy or useful. A permanent transfer would allow the player to freely build his next stage, and United to free up an important squad place and salary. Another loan sounds like a temporary measure, yes, but it could work as a final test. For Rashford, it would be a clearer opportunity than the one he had at Villa. For United, it would be the last card to play before making a final decision on his future.